पैलेट्स आई गेस ये ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन तक किए थे हम लोग. ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन बताया था आपने.
Yes, let me know if my screen is visible to you.
हाँ, it is visible. Now
I'm
it is not
sharing,
visible.
I'm sharing again. Just say something like solution. Is it visible now?
It is visible.
Create. So we have done. Let me open this layout. Yeah, it's looking good, right?
हम्म.
I'm editing it.
आवाज वैसे कम आ रही है.
Like how much? Like is it better now?
हाँ, it is.
Just let me know if sometime it get to go from far, no? Because my laptop is very far from me and I'm not using any headphones today. So just let me know if nothing is coming. Okay.
Yeah.
We have opened up our editing mode and now we have covered up the events, we have covered up the pointers, navigations, the local integration process calls. Now we are on transformations. In transformations, we have multiple options available. These are different functions and methods. And Ashish is not here. I will recommend that Ashish will go through this video and cover up all these things as soon as possible because if like I'm telling this to you, Ashish, if you are not doing all these things by time, then they will be big mess in the course ahead. Okay, because we will be moving forward and you will not understand anything. It's like that. So we have converters, converter functions over here. I'm taking one by one. I think last time also I have taken content, taking it up. I will explain you the scenarios, what we are using this. I think we already have a content modifier here. This content modifier has 4 features in this. Then generally, the general is giving for the notations or nomenclature. We can say notation or nomenclature. Nomenclature it's a naming conventions.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have header and properties. From here we can set the headers and properties. And like we have set up one header for date and we have set up one property with employee name. And here we have message body. In message body, we have 2 options. We can set up expression or we can set up a constant value. That's fine. Then again we have in transformation we have converters. There are few types of converters are available over here. And once while we are working on the scenarios, we will do some practice over there. But I'm showing you a few of the converters. Like first of all, I'm taking this first one, CSV to XML converter. So this CSV to XML converters helps you to change your payload, the incoming payload, which is in CSV format. You can change that payload to XML format. So as I have mentioned, this general will be a nomenclature. You can write the name over here. Like if I'm having a requirement changing employee job CSV data to and giving some information for personal information forward. So it will be depending on the requirement only. Employee job to personal in Excel. Or if we need to write in more detail, then we can write it employee job CSV form to XML form in personal. Means personal is the entity name. Or if we don't want to understand this in personal, like I can mention entity name again over here. We can take time. So employee job information coming in CSV is going to timeout and we're converting that in XML format. So we can see here in processing, there are a few steps out up here. Then we can see XML schema. This schema needs to be selected, like a schema will be created and schema needs to be in XML format. Like an example, I'm giving you as an example. There is some examples over there. Like over here only, I'm taking this up. I'm taking this page, writing down So I'm writing down something. No, I'm not taking a text box on it. Fine. In the text box, if I'm mentioning it, the font is very slow. No? So what I was telling you, I was showing you this CSV to XML format. So CSV to XML. So in CSV, like if I'm having a payload in CSV, so it's going beyond. This will come like this. Like I'm taking as an example. I'm CSV. I'm having a car details. I think it's very bad to work in this. Very bad idea. Is my screen visible to you from the notepad?
It is visible.
Notepad is visible to you?
Yes.
Is this notepad visible to you right now?
Yes, it is visible.
Which notepad? Just tell me now. Are you able to see the notepad?
No.
No, notepad is not visible. That's why I was asking you for the notepad. No?
Yeah.
Doesn't give the option to select multiple. Include sound, yes. Selecting the notepad. It gives one by one only. Okay. I'm taking CSV to XML. So let's suppose we have a CSV calling up with the root, taking next node as employee. Okay, spelling each starting node. Employee and then name. It's just very simple. So if we are converting this CSV to XML now, then here it was asking about an XML schema. Then XML schema will be given in which format? XML schema is that thing which is giving the structure, structure to convert the CSV format data to XML. So this schema gives the structure to convert your root the CSV format data to XML. So in general terms, like if I'm saying in my screen, it is very bad and wrong. If in general terms, I'm saying this to you, what will be the schema for this one? So you will understand, like if something is coming from employee job information, like we have given job info data, then schema will be generated using XML job info only. Let's suppose in any other case, I'm having a XML structure data. I'm taking XML format. Okay. The converter is not there. Taking pretty XML in bit. That's fine. Let's suppose taking CSV XML only. Okay, you can understand. I think you can understand it better, but for like for Ashish also to clear it with Ashish as well, it will be a point because we are moving up with all the records and feature code. He would suffer. So I'm giving this rule records after records the employee name, then giving what we have taken up there, employee name and root code. Okay, that was only included. So converting this, and we are taking up gender also. Converting this to XML. will be resulting the things in XML only. Okay. Then convert CSV to XML. Push file, enter data, and root raw.
But there are other steps in between, na? Okay.
Field separator, comma, fields for record 0. Okay. Let's give the record also. 3, 4, employee name taking Ashish, gender name. Even record is also there now. Converting XML to CSV or CSV to XML. Now that CSV data you can see is coming up here in some of the format with into XML now. But again, it is not created in some clear picture because these headers are coming up in one row, itself. Headers are coming up in one row itself. So I'm giving the root record as the root things, root, and I'm giving them row record. Yes, right. So this is fine now. So this you can see root, record, employee name, gender. Going in by depth, root, record, then again that root thing which we have defined up. So these root and record are coming by default from here. But we have defined our root records over there, up only. So root records, employee name and gender name. So this is an schema, like it's a single, what we can call up like an XML, basic XML have been formed. And if I'm taking out a schema for this one, and let me show you if I'm generating a schema, we can use liquid technologies, XML to XSD. So a schema means that XML XSD conversion. Schema is the definition, structure definition. XML structure definition is the schema, right? So I'm putting my XML data over here, which we have created, and I'm generating an schema for this. I capture info.
Yes, it will ask for one more. You skipped one.
So this you can see, or you can have a look over here. Now we have got an schema with the basic structure which we have given for root, record, employee name, and gender. So let's suppose if we have 12 or 20 fields in a record, then a schema will be generated for that one, and it will be giving you some other definitions also, like root record, the selected base root records from this XML definitions only. It is giving one root element. That element is containing type unsigned byte. Unsigned byte you can have a related with, like there is only one value is there, 3 or 4. So for 3 or 4, there will be unsigned byte. Like it is only containing a few of the bytes of the data, right? If I'm giving a Ashish or mail, then it will come as a string or varchar. So we can see over here, it is coming in the string format only, string, unsigned byte, unsigned byte. But if I'm giving a long value over here, then let me pass a long value. Then I'm giving a long value. Let's suppose if I'm giving this row as a mobile number, mobile. So this is the mobile number. Now I'm generating the XML schema for this. So you can see unsigned byte and unsigned long byte. Long is the data format, right?
Data form, yeah, right.
So these data formats are generated because of your data which is containing in the fields or in your records. Let's suppose this is string, this is long coming up over there. Let this record containing a 4.98 value. Suppose if it is coming in long or coming into double or double, yes, it will come in double. Yeah, decimal. It is coming in decimal format over there. Each format, like we are using liquid technologies over here. So this generate the value according to this only. But if you are using directly SAP CPI structure, like I'm showing you the CPI structure there.
Okay.
So if you can see, we have to select from here. There is no files are there, and I can show you schemas. So you can see one reference from here. Here the whole schemas, XSDs, message mappings, Groovy scripts, all are stored over here only, or even Java scripts also. Script. So if I'm asking about schema, then there are 4 types of schema: EDMX, JSON, WSDL, XSD. So most probably we use XSD and JSON only. Visuals are used in payroll data, and EDMX are also used in advanced payroll information. So we are focusing on JSON and XSD right now. So if I'm taking up this thing, adding an schema with XSD format, so I have to bring a file from the system only. We are able to generate over here, but if by default I'm generating the XML schema, we can generate it using SuccessFactors OData query. You can note this point down. We will see by fetching from SuccessFactors, we will see how to generate the XML schema. While I'm writing it out, while working on SuccessFactors OData, on SF OData, we'll see to generate the XML schema. Right. Now coming up on the next. In converter only, we have EDI to XML, same format is containing up. In JSON to XML, you can see some of the definitions over here in JSON to XML. We can name it according to your use. Okay. In JSON, we have to give the JSON prefix names, JSON prefix separator. Like in JSON, we have JSON data coming in some like somehow like this format. I'm taking up this report only then. So you can see this XML data is coming up in this format. So it is containing a separator over here. This is called as colon in this separator. So it is taking a separator. Mostly it will be colon only, but we can change it using pipe, dot, comma, semicolon, or space. XML root element. If you want to add the XML root element, these XML root report elements, then it will add those reports and root elements also. But if you do not want to add this, then we can remove this or we can exclude this from here. But even we can add some more mapping functions over here. Like if I'm adding a JSON, we can add another one over there. Like how many prefix or XML namespace you want to give over there. Like if I'm taking a prefix name as root. So you will name the root in your XML convert like root will be, you want to show root as roots. It's very simple. Like then if taking up the root from JSON file, it will give the value in XML namespace as roots.
Okay.
We will see with examples over in coming scenarios. Then similarly, we have converters over here, XML to CSV. In XML to CSV, how we have converted CSV to XML now? Here it's a reciprocal of that only. In XML to CSV, like XML data is coming now from XSD. XSD means you can understand like how we have created the XSD, and XSD definition is giving over here. And this XSD now containing the CSV format value. Here XSD containing a JSON XML format value, but now your XSD will be containing a CSV format value. So how you will be converting the CSV format? This will be given over here. The source value, source path can be given. Like if I'm taking a file from here, let me store one file, so then it will be very clear. I'm downloading this, creating a file, copy to clipboard.
So you're not sharing your window now. You're sharing your windows now. You're not sharing your screen.
I'm refraining it, but I'm sharing now. I'm refraining it for some reasons, but no
Okay, okay,
worries.
no
I'm
problem.
creating a file now. SAP. I'm giving the file name as employee basic dot access, right? Dot XSD. We have saved it now. After saving, we are coming back onto this screen, coming on this CPI page. I'm adding this schema, XSD, browsing the system. Employee basics XSD. Right. I have added this. It is added successfully. You can see employee basic XSD have been added. Now I'm coming up here, XML to CSV converter. I will be coming over here. If I need to give the path, enter the X path of the record identifier. So it is exactly asking for the path only over here. But if I need to choose a file, you can see in CSV to XML converter, it will give you to select a file from the system only. So we can see an employee basic file is already there, and we can select the employee basic file. The employee basic file XSV comes over here. Now this employee basic file XSV contains a path like root, record, and then employee or employee name, gender, and all these things are coming. So we can give the path up to here. Path to target element in the XSV. The path will be the record element. This record element. If we have multiple records over here, let's suppose we have multiple records, one record for this employee, second record is for this employee, then it is taking a path for the root, root node, like where it will find the multiple values, what it will convert. Then it will be finding up to record over there. Then root record. And you can see even in the examples also, if you will hover over this, it will show you like bookstore book selects the
Hmm.
book elements of the bookstore. Bookstore book in that second format. Select the book elements of the bookstore. Secondly, if I'm selecting the root only, then it will select the root element. If I'm again selecting the bookstore without any forward slash, then again it will select the root element. So if we need to give any specific element, then we need to give it in this format. And if I'm giving it as a root, then it will select the complete payload, but we'll give a single payload out. Selecting the record, then it will give those multiple payloads output. All right. So
All
here,
right.
yes, here we can define the root path over this. The root path will be record root and record. The root and record is like it's a name only. It can be depending upon your payload or your data coming from the source.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right.
Coming up on the next decoders, we have two types of mostly we are using two types of decoder, base 64, and we are using MIME multi-part decoder. But MIME multi-part decoders containing multiple things over there. Just first we are taking if the base 64 decoder only, I can show you because we have used this. Other decoders we haven't used. So going through those, like we can read out the definition, but usually like use cases are not right now with us. So just we can define the decoder name. So it has a functionality defined within this decoding the image. Let's suppose an image is coming, which is decoded using base 64 formula or like we can say algorithm. So this, if I'm using this function decoder, this function will decode the coming image. Like image will be coming from where? Image will be coming from this flow or path. And while I'm using this decoder, this will decode that image and will pass the output value of that image, like the pixels or the code in other format. It will help to decode. It's simply that only. If we can see other decoders also, we can see have a look at that. But right now we are not using other decoders in any of the scenarios. I have said this, we have multiple options, processing options. We can use multiple headers inline in that, or we can just simply pass it.
What kind of data
I said like
decode?
if I'm taking up decoding in this format, I have a data which is encrypted using any certain key or certain algorithm, and that algorithm is defined using base 64 decoder or my multipart decoder. Then at the source side also it should be defined in this format only. Like I have used my multipart to decode any coming payload, and then again I will be using like first we do the encoding, then we do the decoding. So if
Yeah,
any yes, if any value, if any data is encoded, you can see the encoder also. If any value or any data is encoded using any of these encoder, like if any value is coming with base 64 encoder, then at the next step you will use base 64 decoder. So it's like first the input, then output. If I'm sending a value, let's suppose I'm using my multipart encoder only, that or zip compression I'm using my multipart. So zip compression, so this will be very easy. Just you can put the value and it will pass through it. And I have one CSV to XML. I have converted value from CSV to XML, and that I have passed that XML value to my multipart. Then now my multipart will encode this value. This is the encoder only. It's not decoder. You can see my multipart encoder, and we can change this value, right? So I am giving one option over here, mixing the value, or I'm digesting, like, or making it parallel. Like we are having multiple values over there now, and I'm doing multipart encoder. I'm mixing the value using multipart encoder algorithm. Then if it is asking for headers inline also and long headers also, I'm only giving the headers inline. Header inline, like I can give the root and record. So the header inline will go with root and record, and it will mix all the values. Then at the next step, I'm sending this value to convert from no, we cannot send it like to convert again, because if I'm sending this my multipart encoded value to convert, it will not convert because this is value is encoded now. This cannot be used in any case. Just what I can do, I can send this value now to n, or I can send this value to any other interface. Any other interface, in what it means, like we can send it to SFTP, or we can send it directly from here to receiver. The receiver can be anything. It will go from the end only. It will not directly go from here. If we can send it now, it will go
So
to
why it
end
is
only.
not going directly?
It will not go directly, as like multi-part values will take some certifications in this, and it can go only from senders or receivers. It will not go directly from here. So if I'm sending this on end, then it will first pick up the value over there. Then it will help us to send it using any other adapters there. Then we have multiple adapter options. We can use any of the adapter and can send the value to other objects. Like if we have SFTP, Workday, SuccessFactors, or we have other like JDBC. Even we can send directly data to other Ariba, Facebook, or Azure data storage also. So it will depend upon the requirements, like what we need to, where we need to send the information. Then if I'm having like, and it's not compulsory to send the data to this end only. We can use another end over here only. We can use another end in here only, and message. And it can send value from end message directly to this. Then after sending it, it is like, let's suppose it's get stored now on Azure storage, or on SQL, or on SFTP. Now we are bringing it back from SFTP. After bringing it back from there, it is coming through this part. Like let's say we have taken up a starter, and then we have bring up this file which we have created using my multipart. Then we will decode that file at the first step, because moving that file without decoding, it will create trouble. First of all, what we need to do, we need to decode that value using my multipart, because base 64 other decoders will not work. As this file was encoded using my multipart only, then it will be decoded using my multipart only. These are the algorithm benefits on it. Mostly it's not it's not using most of the scenarios. It's using while sending file to any secure network or to any secure system, and they know the system encoding algorithm like my multipart or zip or base 64. Then they use the same algorithm and decode that file.
Okay. Do we get like encoded data to work on, and we decode it and perform some processes and then encode it again and send it out?
Yeah, we get somehow like from SuccessFactor now. You will get it the compensation information, and that is very like it's very like what we can say uh secure
Heavily
data.
secured,
Secure means I have a word on
en
that. It's not
encrypted.
to be shared. It's not to be shared anywhere. It's encrypted. It's not to be shared anywhere, and we have some certain rules or regulations over that data. And one DPS is also coming, like data policies are coming. Data policy service and data pollution service are coming now. Even provisioning services are also there with different nation. Like it depends on different national rules also. Like in India, we don't have such huge restrictions on any of the applications, but we have restrictions only at the any some of the few applications coming from China or coming from Korea or other native places, like from even from, I can take saying about it will sound bad, but most of the things are banned. But like in UK or in Europe or in, if I'm going in West, there are few different rules for data provisioning services. Like they don't ban everything. They they open up the data provisioning services and protocols for up to that level, which will not create any problem in the society. And I have seen data provisioning rule in UK. Like if in general terms, I can say we have tour and travel in India. It is very different as compared to UK tour and travel rules. In India, you can a hotel can set rules for from their side, but in UK, hotels cannot set rules from their side. It will be set by the government only. If any hotel is doing that, then they will pay fine. So moving forward, do not distract from it. We have EDI extractors, which is not like useful right now. We will see the EDI extractors coming up in the future. The filters, yes, filters are very useful. As like what we can do using filter, we can filter out the data or records based on our condition. Like if I have a condition, there like I have shown few conditions in Postman or in our common scenarios. But here, if we have to use that condition in CPI development, then how we can use it? If it's something is there to filter out, then we can use the filter operation. We can set up the condition for XPath. If the value will come in XPath, then we can set up value based on the XPath, like for node string, node list string, node or integer or boolean. If any value is coming in boolean, then we will set up. If this boolean value is set to true, then it will pass, or if it's set to false, then it will not pass. Then if we have node list, we can set up node list in that format. Like I'm setting a context. I'm setting a context in this format. Like node list will be mostly properties and headers only. I'm setting a property dollar property dot value. If value is equal to this, like let's suppose 100 or greater than equal to 100, then the value will pass. That the data will pass. If it is less than that, then it will fall. Then if we use filter, we have certain conditions also. We need to set up these things, like the value will pass through this if it is greater than 0. Property dot value is greater than equal to 100. Then next of the values, like which is not greater than equal to 100, where it will go, then we can use a dump over here. Before using filter, we can use payload logging, and then it will log all the payload. Then using filter, we can filter out the data. Like filter will help normally in that case only. If I'm sending, let's suppose I'm sending 100 bolts. I'm throwing those 100 bolts from fifth floor, and it will be coming up to down first floor. And there are certain filters I'm using, like mirroring, or like what you call it. Mm, I don't know in English what I can say. I'm using any specific tools which is measuring the size of the ball, and it is filtering out that ball into different sections. Then I will go, like if I'm coming below on the first floor, I will go. The balls will be scattered using their own sizes.
Okay.
Filter is basically that only to filter out the data. Then we have message digest, which is not most specifically used. We have script. These EDI extractors and message digest will be seen further, but it will not be used in your training part, I can say. We have script. We have two types of script formats. We can use Groovy script or JavaScript, but mostly we prefer to use Groovy script only, as this is a standard protocol to follow up in this SAP developments also. And they have included JavaScript from from last 2 3 years only. And many of the scenarios which I have seen on JavaScript are from payroll side only, like normal data processing or data transformations, debugging, and all these things are not doing in using Groovy JavaScript. But we can use JavaScript if we are more good in JavaScript. Then we can use JavaScript. It's open to use. It's not any mandatory thing to use Groovy only. We can use JavaScript also. Do you want to see the features for this Groovy and Java?
Sure, sure.
Yeah. So in Groovy, like I have pasted the Groovy script palette over here. And it is for the name only. In processing, we can see we can assign the files also. If we have any file created, then we can directly assign that file. If any file is not created, then we can simply go up from here and we can click on create. Then it will open a coding window to us. On this coding window, we can do, or we can write our code using our scenarios, our logics, or our structure. We can write a code over here. Like if in general case I'm taking up the body from the last payload. So what I will get in the body, I will get the root message. And if I need to extract some headers and properties also, I can use headers and properties methods to extract the values or headers and properties from the message flow. And like depending upon some import libraries and some scenarios or functions, like we have many imported libraries, we can use date format, or we can use like we have simple date format. So these are a few commands which I have used. We have uh, simple date is there. Let's convert XML util. Hash map is there. Hash map is already there. Message is there. And we have commonly, like if is there any specific for some of the Node.js libraries, we can use Node.js libraries, or let me see, like I have one code over here.
So can you tell me what are the basics library we should know about in Groovy?
These are few basic libraries we should know about.
Let me take a screenshot. Done.
Okay. Similarly, again, we have JavaScript in that. So JavaScript also open up a window like this, and then we can use JavaScript code format, and we can if we have any file, we can import it from there. If we don't have, we can create a new file, and it will also give you a window like this only. JavaScript code is, I think, a little bit common only with Groovy, and we can use it in normal ways. I think I have not coded in anything in Java right now, but you can use Java coding source also. It's also very common in that case.
Okay. Why do we choose Groovy over Java?
I'm choosing it because in Groovy we can find most of the solutions. made by SAP, made by SAP community and hub, and on SAP help also. We can get the solutions easily. But on JavaScript, like they're working from last 10, 15 years on Groovy only. We have recently imported JavaScript into CPI. There are no much solutions made on JavaScript. But I hope in future, mostly the solutions will be based on JavaScript only into CPI.
Mm. Okay.
XML modifier. This is very helpful. Like if I'm getting an XML payload in some other format, like coming up in basic format, and I need to remove some XML declarations from that, then I can remove that. If I need to remove any external DTDs, like DTDs means any headers or definitions which is not related, like uh, we need to go with DTD definition, DTD document type definition. Yes, for the first line. Got it. I was confusing. The first line, you can see the first line over here. We have DTD line, this XML version 1.0 encoding UTF-8. This is called a DTD line. So if we want to remove this DTD, then we can choose this format. It will remove the DTDs from external sources from the payload. And if we want to remove any invalid XML character, then we can choose that also, remove or substitute. We can remove that basically. We want or we remove that. We use these options to remove the invalid characters. Then if it is passing a XML format, we use like from CSV to XML, we have converted the time of data. Let's suppose we have converted the time of data from to here, and I'm converting this XML to different XML format. I'm removing this root node. I'm removing any unknown or a irrelative name from there. We can remove this. Then a purest form of XML will come up on this next job. Of, like we can say up here, it will be the purest form of XML will come on this path. So it is like this only. The data flow works like this only, coming in the last one and goes to the next one. Transformations are completed. Then we have calls. There are a few types of call: local or external call. Local calls helps us to call the like local processing, looping processing call and process call. Like if I'm using process call, then I can put it here and I can define a process call. Like if I'm right now, I think no process calls are there. Then we can make a process call. Like I need to define a local integration process first to make a process call. So let's suppose we have one more integration in this same integration file or in this same integration design. This local integration process name is, again, I'm giving this name as up to that and processing something from calling process only. Like so in process call, I'm coming up and like I'm giving my request like coming from the data. Let's say I'm coming from data path or data flow. Let's suppose it is on this line. Okay. So if I need to go from here directly to Abdul data, then I will be back here only. Check the Abdul data from there. Then I can choose up, like go to Abdul data from here, take the Abdul data and give me this Abdul data on the next step. So in this single process call, we can call another integration where we can define multiple steps again. Like I can define multiple steps again over here. I can use content
Right.
modifier. I can use a success factor call. I can use another means I will show that external code because we are going in a manner now. So we can use success factor calls also from here. We can define a single structure over there. It will be a long structure that can be used in our developments. So that is the local integration process.
So the local call, in local call, we can call any process in the integration. मतलब
Like you are asking, like if I'm calling up the from here, we have multiple local integration process code, then we
processes
can call it. Yes, we can call
call.
it.
Okay.
Mm. We can have multiple local integrations in one development.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have some external calls, like which is going with content enricher, call enrich, request reply, or send. So we will take one by one. First of all, the basic one is request reply. So if I'm using request reply, I'm using request reply over here now. Okay, let's suppose. Then this request reply helps us to bring the request from external source as it was defined in the structure also. It is an external code. This doesn't give us any definition over here, but it's an external code. So we can define the name as external code to SAP or SF. Okay. Then we can connect using this code to a success factor. Let's say I'm connecting to success factor from here. Or we can connect to Ariba, Success, Facebook, FTP, SFTP, IDOC, somewhere. So I'm taking the basic one on which we are working up. We are working upon success factor. We have four options in success factor: OData, V4, REST, or SOAP. So REST or SOAPs we will be seeing in the coming scenario using OData V2 on which we are working up right. So this OData V2 will give us the result with OData V2, and I have all this process call from here. This will bring the upload data from success factor. This will result this upload data to this payload over here. Once up coming on the end, it will result this data from here to this this process flow. This is a single process flow. Then we will get the data over here on this content modifier, and we can
Mm.
modify this data, right?
Okay, right.
It's going like this. The process call this request reply work in this manner. This request reply will take up the request, we will take the data from success factor or W2, we will pass this record to here. Then we have second process call into external call, which is poll enrich or content enrich. These poll enrich and content enrich works out somehow in similar manner only. I can see you this content enrich as the second one. So I'm putting the content enricher. Let's say content enrich will also will contains see the definitions over here now in processing. It will give you two algorithms. First is like it's an aggregation algorithm. First is combine, and second will be your enrich algorithm. As its name is enricher only. So if I'm using simply combine only, then what it will do, it will take this external call data which is coming from the last payload. It will take the upload data, and now I need to add upload data and Ashish data in one payload. Then I will be
Mm.
using content enricher. We'll be picking up the content enricher. I need a second receiver.
A receiver is only taking from end, na, sir?
On this for receiver or sender. Oh, okay, now this receiver will send the data to this no call. Just wait up. Yes, now this receiver will send data this content enricher, and this content enricher will again take data in OData V2 the same format in which we have taken upload data. And this upload data now will be added with Ashish data again. Now I'm taking this success factor data will be this. So this content enricher is combining two payloads. One is coming from the last record or last request. These are two requests. You can understand these are two requests. First request, external call to success factor to get upload data. Now the
Mm.
second request is coming from content enricher, and which is taking data from again from success factor in OData V2 and adding that data, like this is Ashish data now. And we are combining that data. We are combining that two payloads. So in
Ashish
on
data
the
is
end,
also coming from success factor.
success factor or data V2, it will come in same format only. The format will not be different. So on the end, you will see this Abdul and Ashish data is combined. So let me like give you some few understanding over this, because let's say uh, let's say this is one root record coming from SuccessFactor. This is Ashish data. Okay. Now I have got uh, Ashish Abdul data, and I have got this record using request reply. Using request reply. Okay. Then I am using now content enricher. Content enricher. And this content enricher is getting Ashish record. So I'm using content enricher algorithm. I'm using content enricher algorithm, hashtag algorithm combine. So the combine, what the combine will do, combine will take first this record, then second this record. And let's suppose because in this scenario, you will get it little bit like this. Then it's fine. In combine, you will get the record like this. I will show the second scenario also. In combine, you will get the data like this. So you will get this data first, Abdul data, then second Ashish data, right? Now we have second scenario, enrich. Enrich will give you some options to add the data. If I'm using enrich now, so this is giving me some options to add the data. What all are these options? Path to node, the original message, and the lookup message. The original message is the first message which is coming from the last request reply, which is this Abdul message. This is the original message. Then I have got this lookup message. I'm giving this name as lookup. I have this as original message. And we have this lookup message. So if I'm using enricher na or enrich method na, I'm using this enrich method na. So in this enrich method, it is giving me two options. Path to node means which path will be enriched first. So if I'm giving path to node as root, that I was saying I need to take some different path or routes over here, then we can take that scenario. In this case only, I'm giving this root, and key element will be given as there should be some unique uh, user ID type or unique number should be there. So I'm taking one unique number. You can see your unique number is present over here as records or mobile. So we can use mobile or record, or we can create one user ID. In fact, user ID. I'm giving some user ID on this. So this user ID will come up here also. So let me give yep. So in this enrich one, if I'm using the common things as like my hands now, I'm giving the key element as user ID, which will be unique. On the basis of this user ID, the key elements will get mapped. I'm giving again this as root, and the key element will be user ID. Now I'm coming to the payload, how it will be enriched and how it will be visible then. It will be enriched in the root node using the user ID as a common gateway or common key. First, it will take Abdul record. First, it will take Abdul record. Then, secondly, it will take Ashish record, and the user ID is common over there. These Ashish and Abdul records, like I have classified the records, two payloads, but it is not like Abdul or Ashish record, but it will take on the basis of this unique user ID, it will be common on both of the payloads. It will be common in original message and in lookup message, it will be common. Then using this user ID, we can combine or we can enrich. Like combine is simple combine. In combine, you can see first record and second record is combined peacefully. But in enrich, you can see user ID will come as unique and it will be one only. And your first record will come up first, then second record, or if any multiple records are there, it will come by line over here. So this is how enrich works. And enrich helps us in some scenarios. What I was telling that scenarios will be built up in this case.
The
Like
user ID was common for me and for Ashish.
I said, I have classified the record. Let's say I'm not using your Abdul or Ashish names over here. I'm taking up like job info.
Okay.
I'm taking employee info.
Okay.
Okay. I'm classifying the scenario that let's suppose using request reply from SuccessFactor, you have got employee job information. And you can see from SuccessFactor, you can see from SuccessFactor, you don't have direct navigations to personal information. You don't have direct navigations to user information. You don't have direct navigations to other these kind of entities, which is not directly related to employee job information, right?
Mm.
So then using second request reply, I'm getting the user information data. User information. And in the employee job information, I got employee job records, job title, division, department, and I got these up informations over there. Using the user information, I got employee personal details, uh, his uh, his date of birth, his personal details, like I have got up in user information entity. Then now I need to combine both of these records. So if I'm simply using content enricher and combine, then it will combine the user job in employee job information, user information as like this. First,
Mm.
employee job information will come. Then second, employee user information will come. But let's suppose if I'm giving in the enrich, in the enrich method, I'm giving root record is here, EMP job. In EMP job, I'm giving path to node as EMP job employee जॉब डाटा सो उसमें आपको पेरोल दिखेगा तो पेरोल के अकॉर्डिंग क्रिएट हो जाएगा की एलिमेंट इज यूजर आईडी एम्प्लॉय जॉब में भी प्रेजेंट है मेरी उस यूजर की भी प्रेजेंट रहेगी और यूजर इन्फॉर्मेशन भी प्रेजेंट रहेगी देन सेकंड लुकअप मैसेज में क्या लिया हमने यूजर इन्फॉर्मेशन and in that also key element is user id then here in the the final payload using enrich what will come payload will come up like this employee job inside employee job I will show that out inside employee job employee job details right, job details user personal details will come up like this using enrich but if I'm using combine for these cases then how it will come up first employee job will come personal employee job information will come then user info will come employee personal details will be here personal details and here job details so you got this combine and it has different things and it is very useful if you are using enrich in most of the payloads or most of the cases. This gives us a clear picture of the data. It is very useful.
I get it, sir, but I have one question. Ki suppose open the notepad, sir.
Mhm.
Suppose an employee job and user info. I have gender
Okay.
and one in employee job. The key value is same in user info and employee job gender, but the value in employee job is F or M, and in user info it is female and male. Then what will
Okay.
happen, sir?
So like it will come according to your use only. Like if you are taking from job information, you are selecting the gender from job information also. Let's suppose I have selected the gender field from job information also. And I have selected that gender field from personal information also. You're saying
Mm.
that, right?
Yes, yes.
So from gender, from job information, it is coming as M, and from user information, it is coming as male. It will come with both of the both records will be there.
Mm.
Both records will be there, but the
Mm.
payload structure formed like if in combine it will form like this, and if you are saying in enrich how it will be formed, in enrich it will be formed like this employee job details. Now inside employee job details, like it is coming from job information, gender M will be here, and in personal information gender male will be here,
Okay.
but it will come under this root node. The important thing is this. You
Okay.
can see this root node is this important thing. It will
Okay.
come under this root node.
Okay. So what in what?
Original message root will be coming at the top.
Okay. So in combine we are combining basically two root nodes, है ना?
Right.
And in enrich we are taking a root node and enriching it
Yeah, means the
of.
second lookup message. Now we are enriching that second lookup message into the first payload under the first root node.
Okay, okay.
So the content poll enrich also works in the same manner with as content enrich. You can see it is containing few structures like this only. It will give you the processing options to enrich the data and replace or combine or concatenate, and that algorithms are used over here. If I'm saying combine, then it will simply combine that. If I'm using concatenate, then it will then it will concatenate the data coming from the second payload or the first payload. I think we have covered up the cores, external cores and local cores. Then we have routings, and this is like very interesting thing, routing next. So we'll cover up these things in the next class or next session. Taking up all the things now, I think Ashish will miss up many things, bro. I'm worried for this guy.
Routing is interesting and easy, no, sir?
It will be easy. It's not like I think nothing is tough in this. You can, if you guys are keep practicing now, you guys are working on something, it will be very easy to learn. So it will be like we can learn in a fast manner, but what looking at this on this class from the first day, something is missing. Like some mostly people are not taking it very serious.
I am taking it seriously.